This video was kindly sponsored by Pearson. Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's video. Today I'm going to be speaking to you about how I got all 8s and 9s during my GCSEs and how you can too. I want to talk about the things you should be doing right now to help best prepare yourself for GCSEs in about 6 months time. The first thing is making sure to understand content and not just memorize it. It's very easy to not develop your learning and just get a surface level understanding of things. However, you really want to make sure you're understanding most things you learn pretty well. How can you be sure you're understanding something well? Are you able to explain that topic to someone who doesn't understand anything about it? Would you be able to explain that topic to an alien who's just arrived on Earth? If you can teach something well, then I would say you have a great understanding of it. I think it's really easy to slip into habits of just memorizing, especially for subjects like maths and biology. However, making sure you understand the content is so valuable, especially in the future when you get onto your A levels and uni, where problem solving skills are invaluable and it's harder to just memorize the whole course. I think a great way to understand is using online resources such as videos and making sure to ask lots and lots of questions in class. I know some people don't want to raise their hand in class, however it's so valuable that at the end of every lesson, the topic you're learning, you're completely comfortable with it. You can go home and do practice questions and you have a pretty good understanding of it. I'm not saying you should be an expert, however you should be able to describe how to do that topic to someone else relatively well and then develop that when you get home by doing more practice questions. My next tip would be using smart revision technique. If you've browsed through the channel at all, you know that I love active recall, and that active recall is the most effective way to do well on exams. So how are you going to use active recall during your GCSE? It's just basically practicing exam technique, practicing questions, doing revision method that actively require to pull information out of your brain and piece together links of knowledge that you have made to answer a question. For example, doing exam questions. Now, if you're struggling during a revision, if your brain is hurting and if it feels like it's difficult, then that's good. That means it's worth doing things like flashcards. They're super helpful. You're asking yourself questions. You're having to retrieve this information from your brain to answer the question. Another useful thing is testing yourself with your friend, asking each other questions, making sure you're up to date on the topic. However, practice questions are the best way to do well in your exam. Why? Because not only do they test the knowledge, they test the exam technique, and they also make you actively retrieve the information, as well as giving you an insight into how the exam questions are asked and how the mark scheme wants you to give answers. I know for some subjects there's particular ways in answering questions and you need to make sure you understand how that works. In combination of understanding the topic, learning by using videos, paying attention in class, asking the teacher lots of questions, and using things like active recall to do lots of exam papers and lots of practice questions and make flashcards, you can do extremely well in your exams. Now, if you're wondering where to get questions and where to learn new information, the sponsor of this video, Pearson, has you covered. So if you've been living under a rock and you don't know who Pearson are, they are the world's leading learning company. A big issue for me during my GCSEs was having to buy like 15 different textbooks for all my subjects. However, Pearson have solved that issue with Pearson Revise Online. This is a website where you can access all the textbooks you need for your GCSEs for exam boards such as Edexcel and AQA, all in a convenient location. So as you can see on Pearson Revise, I have access to all these different textbooks. Now, if for example we go into the AQA chemistry textbook, we can see all the chapters, all subtopics, very well organized. You can easily do some knowledge checks to practice your learning. I generally just love having all these resources at my fingertips and for a great price, for just $19.99 a year or £2.50 a month, and have access to all your textbooks that you need during your GCSEs. It's not like you're just getting access to a PDF as well, you're getting access to a full interactive experience. Another great part is you can have access to the textbooks anywhere. As long as you have your laptop with you or a phone, you don't need to carry around loads of heavy textbooks. So if you want a free 7-day trial to Pearson Revise Online, click the link in the description. It's free, you can cancel anytime you want, and the subscription overall is very affordable. So thank you again to Pearson for sponsoring this video. Now, 6 months to your GCSEs is still a decent amount of time. If you just started, there's still plenty of time to get amazing grades. Now, what I'd recommend is start small. Now, if you haven't already started, just start small. It's simple. Start with half an hour of revision. So that's on top of your homework. Just do half an hour revision, then maybe a week later try do an hour, then build up to an hour and a half. Start off slowly and consistently. See, the thing is, nowadays we have a very big instant gratification culture where we just want to see results straight away, but that's not how it works. With GCSEs, with A levels, with uni, and with any form of learning at a higher level, you're gonna have to be consistent. Consistency is key. It's better to revise 2 hours every day for 4 days straight and just do 1 8-hour session. You're gonna get so much more valuable learning after doing a little bit often than doing a lot not very often. So try push past that instant gratification culture. If you're not seeing improvements in your grades straight away or your understanding straight away, that's fine, it will come. We have time. Time is key right now. Use time to your advantage. There's still quite a while to GCSEs. I don't recommend burning yourself out, doing a crazy amount of revision right now. Save that for the last couple months. But doing a little bit every day will give you the edge over a lot of other people. The next thing I would recommend is focusing on your weaker subjects. It's great that you're amazing at maths. It's great that you're good at computer science. However, that means you don't need to dedicate as much time to them. If you want consistently good results and doing well in all your subjects, you need to make sure you're focusing on your weaker ones more. It's easier said than done. However, with revision, very simple to just fall into a habit of doing things you're comfortable with. You need to be pushing yourself, making yourself uncomfortable. The more uncomfortable you are, I hate to say it, but the probably better you are learning. Focusing on your weaker subjects, putting a little bit more revision time towards them compared to the subjects you're stronger at, it's going to be really beneficial in the long run and boosting your overall average score in your GCSEs. Now, my next tip is plan. Planning is so important when it comes to anything, but especially important when it comes to revision. You need to know where you're going. You need to know your destination, and how will you know that if you haven't planned anything? Try figure out days you're going to do certain subjects, figure out when you're going to do certain pieces of revision. You know, it's all well and good revising 2 hours, but it's not about the time you're revising, it's about what you're getting done. A good system for planning during GCSEs that I use is the retrospective revision timetable, and it basically focuses on planning your revision session based on when you last covered a topic and how you feel about it. So I'll leave the video linked up here somewhere and you can check it out and see if the retrospective revision timetable works for you. I like to also start my day off with a to-do list, or the night before write a to-do list of what I want to do the next day. Usually I try to include more on my to-do list than I think I'll get done, because then it will leave some stuff open to transfer over to the next day. However, using things like Notion and Google Calendar can be a great way to plan your studies. Planning also lets you see further into the future, and I think that's really helpful for GCSEs, especially because you can kind of get tunnel vision when doing revision and when working on subjects. So it's good to have a almost wider layout and broader view of what you're going to be doing. It will help you understand where you're going and maybe make revision more enjoyable. So if you find any of these tips useful, subscribe, drop a like, comment on the video if you have any other GCSE questions, and I'll try and answer them as best as possible. I have loads of other videos on the channel on how to do well in your GCSEs and get good grades, so check those out as well. Put the effort in while you can. Put the effort in now, because you will thank yourself in the next couple months when you're doing well and the people around you might be struggling because they failed to plan. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and have a productive week.